My name is Raj. Please welcome on stage once again Mr. Ollie Bearman and Mr. Jerry Shu. So
Hey,
guys,
everyone.
welcome to Token2049. It's an incredible start to this conference, and we're so honored to have you out here. What we're going to discuss today is from the racetrack to blockchain, right? Where do we see those worlds colliding? Where do we see those worlds meeting? And so for you, Ollie, it's really a rare opportunity for us to hear insights from the fast-paced world that you operate in, and also the fast-paced world that Zoomex is in right now, which is obviously the crypto space. So let's drive right in. Let's do it. So please, let's start with, obviously, you. You've been the ambassador for Zoomex for a few years now. Can you please talk to us about how that journey was? What got you into crypto? How did he convince you to really come into this crazy space? Obviously, you already have a high risk appetite being in the F1. So please, tell us more.
Yeah, first of all, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. Very excited to be here. First of all, in Singapore. Of course, we have the race this weekend, but also at this conference. It's a strange feeling to sit in front of people. It's not what I'm used to doing, but it's a nice experience for sure. So yeah, Zoomex and I, Jerry and I have been together now. This is our third year. So we started out in my first year of Formula 2. I was, and still am, a young guy. I was, aiming towards the top echelon of Formula 1. Now I'm here, and we've been working together for these 3 years. It's great because, especially at the beginning, there's so many parallels that could be drawn between myself and the company Zoomex. Both relatively young within their spaces, both aspiring towards very high things. So it's been great. Without Zoomex, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be racing in Formula 1. So I owe a hell of a lot to them, and very thankful for the support.
That's a really strong statement, Jerry. I mean,
Sure.
without you guys, he wouldn't be in the F1. I mean, how often do you hear that? So, just talking about that journey, in terms of your career, you've gone from strength to strength, right? And we're all in the crypto space here. We can argue that Bitcoin has gone from strength to strength, despite the market volatility, despite the different market dynamics. Jerry, I'll bring it to you. Do you think that given that market dynamic, Bitcoin is now becoming more of a safe haven asset? Or are we still in that high volatility, high risk nature environment that Bitcoin started from?
Sure. So from my point of view, definitely nowadays, Bitcoin has been a safe haven asset. I would say, first of all, the nature of the Bitcoin, scarcity and the deflationary nature, which gives it quite like a precious metals like a gold, right? And secondly, that if we see nowadays the institutions' interest and adoption to Bitcoin has been significantly increased. For example, Fidelity, BlackRock, all the names you can call that in the traditional financial world, they all build up the Bitcoin portfolio, right? And the last but not the least, if we see the geopolitical shocks around the world and the performance behind the Bitcoin, it gives us a huge confidence that it still has its functional value and political value. So if we see that the problem in Russia, in Ukraine, and now which kind of asset or which kind of coin or let's say currencies contribute more to to real users, definitely it's crypto asset, Bitcoin.
So you're saying that F1 is riskier than investing in Bitcoin now? So I guess we'll move from Bitcoin into the second largest token, right? Ethereum. We heard a lot about Ethereum today. Of course, you are very familiar. Ollie, I'm sure, spending time with Jerry, you are familiar as well. There's this narrative that Ethereum is the engine, right, of the crypto ecosystem. It powers the dApps, it powers the smart contracts. It really created that infrastructure to power what we see as crypto today, right? And bringing it back to the F1, what we've really seen is that performance is key, right? And for you, performance as an individual, but engine performance is absolutely necessary to continue your evolution, right? So how do you see that continuous technical evolution? Can you draw any parallels with that to what you're seeing having spent time with Zoomex?
Yeah, of course, I can't offer much expertise in the crypto world, but spending time with Jerry and Zoomex, I've learned a lot about that space, and of course, I'm quite qualified to talk about the space that I work in.
Yep.
Engines are incredibly, incredibly important. There are 4 engine manufacturers in Formula One, all of them fighting against each other because there is an incredibly huge budget to make the engines as fast as possible. Of course, those are maybe the biggest variables that you can have between cars, and that's where those engine manufacturers spend so much time trying to get a few horsepower or a bit more mileage out of an engine because they're working at the absolute maximum that they can be. So yeah, engine performance is incredibly critical, especially next year. We have a big change in regulations, and I really expect big differences between engine performance, which means that the engineers are going to have a hard time trying to catch up to whichever engine is the fastest. It's really interesting, and it's super important. And I feel like crypto, in what I've heard, it's a similar thing. You need to be performing at your absolute best, and engines are very important.
So I guess, Jerry, on that point, right, just as they're trying to get every single horsepower more, every single split second more, similarly with crypto, we're trying to get even one more second, one more transaction that's faster, right? And so if you look at, again, the challenges of Ethereum that we've seen across the last year, and also the advantages that they've had, right, in the recent bull run, do you see that narrative of them being a core engine as problematic, as a opportunity for them to grow? And does that affect the fair value of where Ethereum can be? How do we assess that?
Sure. So after the shift of the Ethereum POS model, and the whole efficiency of the Ethereum has been significantly increased, right? And if we see in 2025, you talk about the dApps, right? Over 100,000 applications, dApps has been raised in this whole system. And that means behind those dApps or applications, developers, users, investors, they all contribute to this whole ecosystem, right? So if we go back to see that Ethereum is a kind of an agent, right? Then there are so many engineers behind this whole ecosystem of this engine and contributed to it. Definitely, we won't give any investment advice, but the long-term value of this asset and of this engine, definitely we see bullish on this. And if you build up the let's say the portfolio of the asset, just like I mentioned before, if we see the institutional interests on in this industry and on those assets, definitely most of those companies, apart from Bitcoin, they build up the portfolio of the Ethereum.
So, of course, engine and speed, right? Absolutely necessary, both in crypto and F1, right? But I think what is less talked about, but equally important, are aspects around stability, consistency, discipline, right? Tools that we see, again, very deep similarities between the F1 and in the crypto space, right? One of the favorite F1 tools that brings order when there is chaos is the safety car, right? And actually makes things a lot more interesting as well. So, Ollie, how do you see its role on that track? And does it teach us anything on how we can relate that concept to crypto as well?
Yeah, I think, even just the world of F1, the world of being a driver requires a lot of discipline because consistency within your performances is probably one of the most important factors of having a long career and being successful in Formula One. It doesn't matter if you can have only one good performance, you need to be able to to repeat that weekend in and week out as well. So that's really, really key. It's something that I try and focus on as much as possible within my performances. So yeah, discipline is one of the words that is key in my head to being a good Formula One driver. On top of that, we have the safety car, which interestingly in Singapore, since the first ever race in Singapore, there's been a safety car every year, except last year. So last year was the first year without a safety car in Singapore.
Are we going to keep that this year?
We'll see. We'll see. It's the highest chance of having a safety car just because the race is so difficult. Very physical, very hot. The walls are very close, so generally it's a very tough track, and therefore discipline is very important. But the safety car within our race is first of all a chance to stabilize everything, like you said. Yep. It gives you a chance to communicate with your team. Behind the safety car, it can really change the race as well. You can stop for a new set of tires. You can really open up the strategy with a safety car, try and differentiate yourself from the rest of the field during a safety car. So it also brings a lot of action and interest, but also creates stability during chaotic situations. So the safety car is a moment during a high-pressure race for everyone to take a reset, to take a pause, and to assess everything that's happened, everything that might happen. So yeah, F1 itself is a huge high-pressure situation, and sometimes a safety car can be a good thing to bring things in order and to get everyone back where they need to be.
I mean, Jerry, that's an interesting metaphor, though, right? Like, safety car, we clearly have seen a few of them come out in crypto. Yeah. We've seen a lot of crashes too, right, across the last few years, even while you guys have been, in partnership with each other. Yeah. How do you see that playing out in our space?
Well, so the risk is most critical things for users, for us as an exchange. So definitely we have our own safety cars in our industry, and especially in exchange operation. For example, the risk control system and the bug control system. So for us, actually, we cannot control the market risk, but we want to control the platform risk, that we can deliver to our users the best experience and the safest choice of the exchange platform service. So definitely we keep contribute to build up our own safety car inside of the platform. And I hope in this industry, all of our contributors, we can all together to contribute to build up a safety car for users.
I mean, absolutely, right? And just because there are guardrails and safety cars, similar to the F1, doesn't mean crypto can't be as exciting, as thrilling, as fun as it already is, right? And within that same point, of safety and stability, we've seen a massive narrative this year of stablecoins coming into the picture. The Genius Act was passed in the US. How do we see that functioning into all of this?
For me, that stablecoins is kind of a bridge, and this bridge that we find it for so many years inside this industry, and this bridge can help to connect the traditional financial world and the new crypto financial world. And definitely in future, if you ask me that how it will change the whole payment system in the world, I would like to say that no offense, but 80% of a payment company now, I mean traditional finance payment company, will disappear. And another batch of the new crypto payment company will grow up very quickly. It's kind of like that if you don't embrace this trend of stable coins, and the new era, the whole era will abandon you without say any goodbye to you. So for me, I would say that stablecoin, this kind of bridge will be very critical things in our world and connect to the traditional financial world.
So we spoke about everything from Bitcoin to ETH to stables to the guardrails that we put in crypto. So what I'll do is I'll ask you both in terms of the companies you represent, right? Whether it's Haas, whether it's Zoomex, how do you feel on your side? Do your companies mix performance with innovation alongside safety and actually find this balance between those three for you guys actually to progress forward?
Yeah, I mean, speaking from my side of things, I don't think you can hear me very well. That's better. Oh, now you can hear me too well. Speaking from my side of things, you know, those three factors are incredibly important in Formula One. Safety is paramount. It's number one. First of all, in the way that the circuits are designed by the FIA, safety is the number one goal, and the rest is almost irrelevant compared to safety. That's the number one priority. Then, you know, when the cars are designed, safety is step one. You know, performance and everything else comes after that. So the car has to go through crash testing and a lot of tests to make sure it's safe to race on the track before they can even think about trying to make it as fast as possible. But by the same token, safety comes with weight in Formula One. So it's about finding that trade-off of making the car as light as possible, but also as safe as possible. So lots of innovation is necessary there to make a light, safe car, and then innovation is kind of step two underneath safety. Innovation is what brings you to the top and to the front and puts you ahead of your competition. And that means you can never look back. You always need to strive for more in the world of Formula One because everyone else is. So if the second you rest on your laurels or you don't continue to strive for better, others will overtake you. So every time we do a good performance, we're still looking at what we could have done better. As a team, operationally, myself as a driver, there's always things that I can improve on, but also, you know, the people back in the UK, in Italy, who design and put the car in the wind tunnel, they're always comparing our car to other people's and seeing where we could have improved. And it's just a relentless continuation of striving for excellence. To give you an example, this is the fourth year that we're in this cycle of regulations. So 4 years that the regulations haven't changed, but the improvement of lap time of the cars has been the same every single year. So, you know, as the cars get closer to the ceiling of what is possible, because at one stage, with one set of regulations, the cars will not get faster anymore, they're still increasing that. And every year you get to the end of the year and you think, okay, well, our car is very fast, so hopefully next year we're going to be in a good place. Then you get to next year, and if you haven't improved by 4 or 5 tenths, then you're lost. So that is really what F1 is all about. All of those three factors, safety, innovation, so important, and it's really interesting. That's why I think people get hooked on this sport, you know, working as an engineer, as a driver. The innovation is incredible to see. And I think if that mindset is applied to other industries, you can be successful anywhere you work or with anything you do.
Cool. So for our side as a platform, right, definitely the innovation must based on the stability for our users' experience. So any kind of innovation, no matter from product side, system, technology side, or operational side, all of this, so we call it innovation. The final purpose is going to provide more better and better experience for our users, right? So just like Ollie mentioned that all of the innovations, technology, speed things, performance things, all of that is behind all of that is based on the driver's safety. So for us, users' experience is kind of like our driver's safety. So no matter what can be implemented, we definitely put the user experience at the first place.
I mean, it's incredible to really realize the amount of synergies and metaphors there are, right, between F1 and crypto. I think it's probably also the reason crypto loves the F1 and the F1 does love it back, whether it's user safety, speed, performance, stability, right? But I think hearing what you both just said, the one large takeaway is no matter if you're in crypto or in the F1, you got to wake up in the morning and be ready to drive, right? So at that, we'll leave it there. Thank you guys so much. Everyone, Mr. Ollie Bearman of the F1 at Haas, and Jerry Xu of Zoomex.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.